definition, forever blessed. When it comes to rap lyrics, I'm forever fresh. Plus I'm back like I never left. Master my every step, passed all my credit checks. We cry when the clothes die, pour liquor, then we ask why to the most high. I've survived cause I never played both sides. That can only lead to a surprise.
Major Talented One, episode 15. This is the final episode of the season, you know what I mean? It's been a mad ride this season, and today, finishing on a very special one. Again, man, as I said, I always say special guest. But this one here, this is one of my artists that, you know what I mean, I rate this artist fully. So we got Malik Allah. What's going on, my brother, right? We got a lot to unpack today on this one. And like I said, how I always start the interviews, even though I know, once again, most of the information, but there's some things I might not know. When did it start for you, Malik?
Started, well, it's Malik, MD7 from Maurice Delta 7. Started the rapping journey. I'm from a musical family still, so my uncle used to be, we're in Birmingham right now. Yep. So I used to hear my uncle on the radio, like on local radio. There was instruments in the house because my uncle had a band. A couple of my uncles played in the band, reggae music. So I was growing up in the house where, when I remember when the Rappers Delight,
them ones.
I don't think it was at the time it come out, but I remember the Rappers Delight when the record was brought, and it's like, kids, come downstairs
and listen to, yeah.
So there was, I remember those times as a family. I grew up in my grandma's house. My granddad died. My grandma had 10 kids, or late teenagers and early 20s. So the house I grew up with was run by late teenagers, early 20-year-olds, because it was just my nan and the 10 kids, my uncles and aunties. So
that's a good thing, obviously, teaching you obviously about the family kind of vibe, because obviously when you're around a lot of family in those times as well, it's something that gets ingrained in you and memories there and that stuff. But
culturally, like, I just remember just going to sleep all kind of time. I remember getting waken up for Tyson fights. Even if I got school the next morning, I'll get waken up 3 o'clock in the morning to watch the Tyson fight. So the media that I was consuming as a kid was older than my age. You know what I'm saying? Musically, and just the things that I was watching. I remember watching Scarface as a kid with my whole family, or my uncles and that. When I'll go to school, they were talking about all these kid shows. I didn't even know nothing about kid shows. My favorite show was adult shows, a show called V, about some...
the alien thing. And it's mad, you know, when you reflect back to V and think what you was watching, it was a crazy thing.
Yeah.
And depending on how deep you're into knowledge and stuff, there's certain,
that's what I'm saying.
Certain stuff, you get me, the lizard anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We won't go there today.
So my even when I got to school as like junior school, talking to other youths, the stuff that they was into, I don't even remember having toys. I remember just music. I mean, I had toys, of course, but like music and shows and just different stuff that we did as a family.
No, but the maddest thing, subconsciously, these are things that ingrain. Every kind of great artist that I've met, I've got these kind of things that were put in from early that we might not have known was something, you know what I mean? Because obviously those watching those shows would have opened up your mind to certain things.
Yeah, because I'm watching adult programs, and I'm into it, like Prisoner Cell Block 8 shit. I knew more about, I'll be like, what's your favorite show as a kid? And I'll be like, at school to the teacher, this show, that show, and that show, and it's like,
they would have given you a face,
and the kids looking at me like, what? Like and they were talking about like cartoons and all that. I was like, I didn't even know about cartoons.
And you know that, and the maddest thing is, when I reflect back to even when I was young in that respect, is like certain shows when they came on, you knew it was bedtime. So for me, it was MASH. Anytime MASH came on, you hear that music. So that's why I hated it.
Well, put it this way, my mum had me young. My mum had me like 14, so she was working a lot, finishing school and working when I was growing up. So it was in a house, and then just the only older adult was my grandma, and my grandma's, you know what I mean, chill. And then the rest, it was just my uncles and aunties.
And the heritage, Jamaican background.
Yeah,
definitely. Cause it's funny because obviously, a certain time when I see like you put certain things up on your thing, like certain of the foods you put up, because from that, like obviously the proper hard food that you're in and everything there.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to when you first started, because obviously Maurice Delta is a big deal for me personally, and that's like I said, representing Birmingham City, representing the Midlands, really putting you on the map and everything there. So kind of how did that start, like with you, Cypher and Joanna?
Well, first of all, just quick before that,
okay,
I started, my first time I writ raps was, I remember there was, like I said, there was instruments, drums, guitars. There was a 4-track upstairs, and I'm a youth. This is the 80s. I'm like 7, 8, and I had an older cousin that's 5 years older than me, and he was a part of, before we turned into Maurice Delta 7, we was Lyric Born Click, and it was like 10 of us, yeah. And my older cousin is 5 years older than me, so I had the hip hop knowledge through him. You know what I'm saying? So anything he gets, anything he finds out about,
you're getting that information directly.
Yeah, that tape's
your
there.
internet. That
Tape's there. So as soon as Big Daddy Kane, this, that. I can just, even when I used to get his hand-me-down thing, so when he had a new Walkman, I had these old Walkman, just taped up headphones and everything like that. But I could just lend it, if somebody ain't listening to a tape, I could just lend the tape and listen to it. So that's how hip-hop took control of me. And then by the time I was like 13, I remember like getting a Bob Marley record, Mr. Brown, because it's got no singing at the start.
So you was using that as an instrument?
And just press play record, and then I'll write a little rap, and I'll do it through the 4-track, and that's the first time.
And even with that, because obviously, you know, when you're kind of learning your craft, because anybody who starts good, I'd say they're lying in it, like obviously because there's certain developments. And then there's also that period of time when you're kind of trying to build yourself up, and then you display it to someone, and that's a very vulnerable time to have to, you know what I mean, do your first things performing in front of people for them to know what you're doing. So what was that kind of like for you when you first let people know what you're on?
By the time I got to that, I was a bit confident, because I did come was still working class family, like, you know what I mean, there was nobody like with dough, like I'm sure black families with dough didn't even come to like the 90s.
See it there.
So this was like the late 80s, and I was a thing where expression, because one of my uncles is in a band, another one does music, another one was an actor for a while, you know what I'm saying, and doing plays and all that kind of stuff, like black plays and things like that. So expressing myself creatively, it wasn't looked down upon in my family, so that was encouraged then. It was kind of encouraged, where I could have been in another family, or where it could have been different, but that environment kind of just helped me be confident in
doing what you do.
So
then, as I said, so move on the journey then. How did that, I mean, when you had the crew of 10 people, was any of the members of MD7 in that?
All of us. What there was there was my older cousin.
I mean, what did they go on to do as well? Did they continue any music? Was there anybody we would know?
Not really. Not really. Probably made it to London, but a lot of they were known in the city. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, but there was a before us, there was a group called MSI Asylum. So they were the first group to really be on Westwood, to be known outside of.
I mean, was Lord Lang in that?
Yeah,
Lord Lang. Yeah,
so you had Ranks, Tactic H, like they were straight spitters. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna as I said, what it was for me, and obviously we're gonna get onto that, but for me, we heard that in London, we heard the Black Samurai thing.
Okay,
And when I heard the Black Samurai thing, because at the end of the day, me, I've always been open to everywhere, but there was a kind of thing in London, like, we're the, you know what I mean, we're the place, innit? So
it's a London thing.
It's a London thing, innit? But it opened me up fully, like I said. And when I heard the bar was on that, Lord Lang stood out for me a lot. Yeah, that bar, what's my fault, skate, like Torval and Dean. You see that? When I heard it, I was like, later, then you had Nemesis.
Yeah, she's from Derby.
From Derby.
Of course, as well, I have to big up Yogi, Nemesis,
Yogi.
Baby J. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're the precursors to MD7 when it comes to Black Samurai came before MD7. So we was defining our sound when we was doing Black Samurai.
You know, but the thing is, it's crazy because you, like, as I said, me personally, like I said, these are my personal opinions, innit? Like I said, which are mine. I'm not trying to throw them on anybody else. But as I said, when I used to listen to that tape, obviously you stood out a lot for me personally. Lord Lang, Nemesis, Yogi as well, Cypher as well.
Yeah.
And obviously Cypher, like, one thing I don't like to do is to similize anybody. Like, everybody's within their own stuff. I mean, we might have influences, but Cypher to me came out the RZA with his kind of like how he put together his beats as well. And like I said, it was just obviously Baby J was there.
Yeah.
But did Cypher was he producing before Baby J? Was Baby J?
No, Cypher was always producing from the start.
Yeah.
And then we linked Baby J before we turned into Maurice Daughter.
Yeah.
Like Baby J produced Silent Screams. So Baby J is, when it comes to a producer, not just with beats, but he was the first person to really kind of give me direction in the way of, I remember I'd done a song on Black Samurai, Close to You or something like that.
I remember
I had a verse on there, and he said, "Yo, I want you to do a whole song like
how you did that,
like that, like half that verse. I want you to do a whole song like that." And then that's how Silent Screams come about, and it helped. I'm
telling you, like I said, that the funny thing is I've still got it in digital format right now though, still, but because I had the actual CDs, I had a couple of the CDs, and obviously I was letting more and more people hear about this, and I was like, "What? Who's that man there?" I'm like, "Yeah, them." You know what I mean? But so even with the Moorish Delta element, as I said, you, Cypher, and Jawar. I remember when you released your first video, I was actually there when the viewing. And I was flipping proud to be there, and I mean, and
the viewing down in Birmingham.
In Birmingham, yeah. We came
so that place was the drum where it was.
Right. I'd say I wouldn't even know.
And now that's the Legacy Centre, which Cypher owns. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things are full circle.
Full circle in that.
But yeah, always big up to Cypher.
Now for real, like I said, I mean, I'm up in Birmingham at the moment. I'll be coming back up because I need to speak to, as I said, Cypher. I need to speak to Jawar. Like I said, I rate you lot, and like I said, with even the first album. Like, what was the inspiration about even when you was putting it all together?
For me, there was a couple of things. There was me going to. Also, we went to, I think, New York in like 1999. We went to New York and we saw how hip hop was in action and moving. You know what I'm saying? We just saw hip hop alive. Especially in New York at around that time, we saw hip hop.
It was the mecca of hip hop.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we saw it alive in the way of how people, everything, like even phrases people saying on tunes. We'll hear people just, it's in people's vocab. UK wasn't, we didn't have that yet. Yeah, so it was like you had like at the time it was mostly like Black Twang. Kalashnikov was Ricochet Kalashnikov. You know what I'm saying? Like, still, even all of those groups, it's only like Rodney P and those kind of groups and before them that mastered their own style. I would say that all of us are still
influenced by
still growing.
What I was gonna say
at the time,
because all right, you went over to the States though, and obviously you were soaking up that. But when you
coming back here, and then how we could spread culture. Of like the way that they just spread culture. No, like Southern rap, when Southern rap come out and you got T.I., you got all them people, and it's like they're obviously being very Southern to you know what I mean, to bring over their culture to the rest of, you know what I mean. So for me coming over, and then it was before grime. There was an MC called Doctor, and people like Vader. And they was spitting at the time, and I seen the relatability of them man
and how they
of how their man done it, of the before grime MCs, the in between the end of garage and grime in that time. So MCs, UK MCs started to get more relatable with the things that they say, and then I was like, so I want to mix this hip hop shit. This introspective hip hop shit with the the relatableness of what the
Grime MCs are doing.
Grime MC before what grime wasn't even a thing then. That was before Wiley and Dizzy and that. But there were garage MCs at the time
that were doing it. So they basically was doing the culture through that and gaining an identity as opposed to that's what it was.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, these men are like really bringing the British thing through, but it was still a bit like that MC voice thing. So it was just like, so they were still mastering their thing.
Craft,
That's why they never rapped, because they didn't know how to put it together that way.
But I was gonna say, because obviously when you went to the States, that I was trying to bring in, like, did you rap for anybody over there?
Oh yeah. There was ciphers,
because with that, what I'm trying to say
is was in the hood, we was in Brooklyn, was in I remember just being in shops where it's like when the shop closed, turntables out. And man to just spit.
So what I'm saying is, because obviously now how the game's opened up now to us now, so the Americans are more, you know what I mean, you go and see more bare reaction videos to our stuff, and they're trying to really get involved. But then obviously there was a premise like, oh, like you people over there can't do it, you know what I mean? So did you have to show them a flex? How did they react to you? Like, well, that's one thing that
but if you look at, man, Cypher's like 6 foot hard. If you like, we were just blended in anyway, and it's like, so it wasn't a thing where it's like, probably if we were different type of British guys,
but I'm saying, all right, but
it may have transitioned less.
They would have seen you and thought you were from over there. The moment you open your mouth,
but it's what we're talking about. So we was into, even the knowledge was into like
5% into
you know what I'm saying. So it's like, it was because we're speaking on certain stuff and certain man stuff, and even culturally with Jamaican, we wasn't like, you know how we was British, but in the way we speak and the way we put our words together and things like that. But our mentality was more Jamaican with certain other ideologies. So you get what I'm saying?
You know, I fully see that.
We wasn't that, all right, mate. We totally was never that. You know what I'm saying? We were just,
you weren't a caricature. You were just,
we was very into
self.
very into black culture as well. So people could just see that through us. You know what I'm saying?
And I'd say, I mean, whilst you was over there, did you make, at that time, was there any connections with any producers?
We worked.
Did you go studio over there?
Yeah, we went to studio. We went studio with a guy named Agent 25. He was Nori and Gaddafi's manager at the time. And this was at the time when, actually, when we went to studio, that's when they just split.
Okay.
So I remember there was tragedy. Gaddafi was kind of beefing with Nori. You know what I mean? It was kind of, you know what I mean, beefing. So if you know about like What's a Thug About from Tragedy Gaddafi, like them times we went studio. So that Tragedy Gaddafi album, the first one, we heard the songs in the studio, played by the producer, and there was a producer called Ayatollah who produced for many classic artists, Biggie, all of them. We got we had a beat tape from him. You know what I'm saying? So one of the tunes we brought out a tune. But yeah, one thing about it is like, so we'd be going to labels. We linked up with AZ, who, you know what I mean, Nas, AZ. We linked up with a few people, going to a few labels. So they're like, what's going on in the UK? So we're like, there's a crew called Soul Solid, there's Garage, there's this, that, and we're showing,
just bringing them into the and you know, it's funny because when the light comes onto you in order to show them, because a lot of time you might see people, like, for example, if they have the opportunity to show about what's going over here, they're gonna aim for that. They're gonna say the wrong artist. You're like, right, why did you? That's not a good representation. So
that was happening for a long time. So we but it's a thing where and be like, what's going on here? And like, for them it was like, yo, the southern thing was bubbling up. So they'll be telling us like, yo, these southern man, they be drinking lean and telling us what lean is, like, say, and talking about, like, because we knew about New York culture, but they're like, yo, the southern things, the southern culture's on the rise. So they'll be telling us about, you know what I mean, different stuff that, because we knew about West Coast and East Coast. So they'll be telling us about southern culture and just new stuff that was happening in New York because how the sound was changing.
And how long was you over there though?
I was there for about a couple months. But every day we'll be going to a label. We'll be
and with that, how were they? Okay, as you was going to the label, because as I said, for me personally, you lot levels were a good level. You know what I mean? So were they looking at you like that?
It was just something totally new for them, but it was a thing where it's like, yo, we want to have a relationship with you, even if it's nothing to do with signing or nothing like that. We just want a relationship because we see a potential in the UK. We don't know when it's gonna happen, but we want to keep the link. We want to know, like, they're always asking us. Even when I went back after like the YouTube started, so I'll be sitting down with man, going on YouTube and doing the whole history of UK and how it happened, and you know what I'm saying. Like a lot of people want to know, but it has to be like the thing about the UK. We don't put things in a historical platform with narratives and content. For instance, like I can watch an American documentary about New York in the 70s. That's talking about drugs, hip hop. Like there'll be the whole. It'll be all in one. Even if they don't think about a rapper, they'll say, yeah, his family was from South Carolina, and
the backstories
in that city there was lots of race. Nothing to the rapper ain't even born yet, but they're put into context the circumstances
to go forward.
So by the time that person gets into, I don't know, say if they do get into the drug game or they go to jail, they've talked about mass incarceration already. They talked about when the crack epidemic started. So by the time that you see that person, that world has already been built.
It's already been built, and so you can even actually see the backative of what environment actually was the ingredients to that person's being.
So that's where that's where us in the UK. So in the last few years, like especially before COVID, I was going to South by Southwest in Texas and AC3 in Atlanta and New School Rules in Amsterdam, in Rotterdam, and I'll be speaking about UK culture because I wouldn't say I've got great knowledge of UK culture more than other people, but it's just the way I put the timeline together
to give it that same feeling of when you are watching those other things, to get the backstory and you're presenting it in a way that we're gonna understand. No, I feel that, but like I said, it's one of those ones, because at the end of the day, your style, your rapping style, is very descriptive. So that shows that you have that in you in relation to being able to paint a picture in that respect. But
so when we came back, it was like, how can we implement this? And then it was like me seeing what was going on with the garage and grime, well, the garage culture, because grime wasn't even invented yet. And then that made me more of a British spitter. You get what I mean? But I was like, I want my stuff to come over like the Nazis and the these type of rappers, the Ice Cubes. I wanted that to come over that way, but it had to be British. You know what I'm saying? So that was the big learning curve that started off MD7, and the Black Samurai project was the training ground for it.
No, like, and it's mad because obviously living the studio life, I'm talking about, you know what I mean, you go in the studio and you're creating and you're creating, you're building up your catalog. But as I said, for me personally, when I heard the Black Samurai thing, I could see what was going on. I could see you all being in the studio. I could see, do you know what I mean? Whoever's in the studio that day, whatever.
Big up to Black Samurai, Tunji.
No, like I said, ratings to Tunji.
He
needs to have a word to Tunji as well.
Regardless, he started something. He started something off. You know what I'm saying?
He definitely did. And how was the Moorish Delta first album? I mean, the album, was it Art of War?
Art of Survival.
Art of Survival. That's it. How was that received as well?
Dub received massively, and it was mainly received that way because something that I encourage more UK artists to do was we had interludes and stuff like that. And we even had even the Art of Survival video where it's got like,
I was gonna say, who directed that?
A guy named Curtis.
I see you running in that getting the calisthenics.
Big up Newtown. Hudson Tower. That's the block.
But I think with you lot, I mean, you lot was something for Birmingham to be proud of as well. So there's a big, because as I said, we're coming to the premiere of the first video as well. There was a proudness, you know what I mean? There was a thing like, yeah, like these man represent us, and you fully did that. And as I said, in relation to the because it was, how many singles did you release from that? Was it just
about 3 singles?
3 singles, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then, and so that carried well, and even with the people that your relationship with it, you know, in America and New York, how did they receive it in that sense?
Oh yeah. They were like, I think we went back after that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you perform over there as well?
Nah, we didn't perform over there, but we done radio over there, and but it was more. Yeah, at that time it was more. And there was a time when Cypher and Draw went that I never went, and I think I linked them up later over there.
Right.
But there was a time when it was a thing of there'll be lots of just kind of events and ciphers, so there'll be like. So if you had a shop, that was a clothing shop, when it done at closed at 6 o'clock or whatever, everybody's coming in for 7 and just barring. So going there a few times, you know what I'm saying? There's a song Made Men and the Locks. Dun, 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 from the Belly soundtrack. I just remember that was the rhythm at the time. All the Young Bucks, all the Young Bucks would just grab the mic to that.
Do you know what's
and
funny,
I remember
though?
being in a cypher with
because I was going to say in the
that.
cypher, because all right, once again, because of your level of artistry and how you do your thing, so you're gonna have. You're gonna have someone there, and they're looking at you like, he's from there, whatever. We'll kill him, and then with that, like, how did that feel when knowing that you murdered them? Because I know you murdered them.
Fully.
They're not expecting it.
Yeah. They weren't expecting it, but there kind of was. It's one thing about they before they hear you rap, it's still to this day, they're more like your presence, your handshake, eye contact. From all that at some point. And I'm dealing with street guys as well. So you know what I'm saying? They're looking at other things.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So before man got ratings before man spat.
But then when you spat, and
they were saying it was solidified. And it's like, okay. You know what I'm saying?
I'd say, because like, all right, with the American connection as well, like what they called again, is it Euro Gang?
Yeah.
Now, like I said, they did their thing, and like I said, I don't really care how people will receive it, but I didn't really think they represented us fully. Because they just wanted to be them, and you, like I said, when your thing, yours, your authentic.
Yeah, because we was, you know what it is as well. We more got the It's like going to yard or anything like that, or going to, or being in England and like, you know, you got Nigerian background and you go Nigerian, you see how Afro beats is, and you're seeing it in early stages, and then you're coming over here. You're not gonna do exactly what they do over there.
True.
You're gonna
do your little.
You know what I'm saying? But because I think probably because SAS was cultivated at that time in the States. That's probably why. But for us, it was just visiting, and then for me come back though, we knew that we had to, and the main thing is. Like I never raved hip hop. I mean garage dances. I mean, I was a part of a sound. You know what I'm saying? Big up, shout out Apocalypse, Jaxie and the whole crew, I was a part of a sound, so I remember them giving me money to even buy records when I first went States for the sound. Sound. So it's sound system, and if I'm going out. If there's a sick night out, it's not going to be a hip-hop night unless it's a concert. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a garage night. I want to see gal. You know what I'm saying? Gal ain't in the hip-hop.
They're not.
In the hip-hop venues. And this ain't London where you have loads of hip-hop. This is Brum, so there's less of that.
Well, so you never come down, you know, obviously to a Westwood wave or and then kind of things there as well in London.
To tell the truth.
Trust me, there was gal in there.
Yeah. For the Westwood, that was different for the Westwood things. Apart from that, if there's just a normal hip hop jammer,
it's not gonna be that.
It's just more you go there for spitting and you're doing that part. But when I want to go to, you know what I'm saying, I'm a Jamaican, so when I wear my all white, you know what I'm saying? I need to be at certain dances, you know what I'm saying?
All right, so moving on from the Morris Delta album, obviously you did the Silent Scream was on the Morris Delta's album, right?
Yeah.
Right. That song was so, and like I said, even the video was done so well as well. And that kind of, for me personally, that really put the spotlight on your lyrical wizardry on that still, because you I mean, you've got that. How was that for you, and how did you feel? Because obviously being in a group doing a solo song sometimes, and I know they're your brothers as well, so they're not looking at it, but sometimes, depending on the type of people it is, it could, you know what I mean, be like, oh, what's going on there then, kind of thing.
Well, first of all, Cypher made most of the beats for the album. So it was like Cypher, Urban, and Baby J. He made the beats, but Cypher made a lot of the beats of the album, and he was doing a lot of the business as well. So Cypher would be up London every week.
Yeah,
Cypher we have to bring records to the. Times you bring records to the shop. That's how you sold music. You had to go to man wasn't posting shit.
They weren't posting shit. Yeah.
You had to drive to Leicester, drive to Manchester, drive to Plymouth, drive to wherever.
These days, about it's so easy with the internet, but look at that, the groundwork we have to do. I think that builds character.
And that's the Cypher, because I never made them links. Joanne never made them links. It was Cypher making those links, phoning up different places. Yo, yeah, we're gonna drop off these records, and it's like, no, like when they'll return whatever they don't sell. But I think it was selling still. Yeah,
because I was gonna say that. I mean, I remember when we came down there, like I said, for the preview and that, we stayed at Birmingham, and I think we actually stayed at Cypher's yard.
Yeah.
And it was a thing where when we was walking, what was it, Yellow something?
Yellow
Park.
That's And
the thing is, when normally if I say to like a person from Birmingham, Yellow Park, they're like, rah, he was there. You know what I mean? And we was just there because obviously, like, we're from me person from Northwest London. We was coming from Northwest London, so it's like, you know what I mean? You know, the Church Roads, the Stonebridge, the Kilburn, all these places, and this kind of was the same thing. But I noticed people are looking at like, who's them man there? But then when they saw us with you, man, it was calm. You get me? So it was a one of them thing that we was, the hospitality you lot showed us was always that was always love. You get me? And then, as I said, I mean, there's a few things you dropped throughout the years, and there's powerful tunes like A Dream Within a Dream, crazy. That was a crazy tune. Like I said, even what you did with the Alicia Keys, I'm Ready. Another big one. And for me personally, the way you did use the Love and Basketball video, it went with it perfectly. I still would have wanted your video in it, because that is the gal them were weak for that song. You get me? So was it mixtapes after that?
Yeah, mixtape for a while. Well, the mixtape era came after a while, and but yeah, again, I want to say about Jawar. So I remember saying Cypher was doing a lot of the beats and a lot of the business. Jawar done a lot of the artistic side of it.
He does the tattooing, innit?
So he was a barber, and he won the barbering, the country, the best barber in the country. He won that twice in a row. And then he turned into a tattoo artist, you know what I'm saying?
Well, he's still cutting hair as well?
What's that? No, he's more on the tattooing.
And with that, I mean, was there any competitions he entered with the tattooing thing, or was it just...
What's that? No, he's got his own business. Big up Black Diamond Ink in Birmingham.
If you're in Birmingham, you want your ink done, or to Black Diamond.
Especially for tattooing on black people's skin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like, so that's why I think you lot were the perfect storm, because you got Cypher making the beats, also with a very accomplished spitter as well, and a businessman doing that stuff. You got Jawar with the artwork and his business acumen, of what he's doing,
even just ideas for videos, like direction in videos and certain direction of, like, we all had an integral part. So even if you hear me spitting a lot, there could be certain decisions, even on those tunes made by Jawar or Cypher or whatever, that stirred it a certain way. So we was all working together and mixing together.
Yeah, because like I said, the brotherhood was evident with you lot still, and that's one thing that was good to see. There was no, I mean, obviously you're not gonna argue something.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
of
Me and
course.
my team, we've argued enough time, but you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, it was a good thing to see. And then obviously you was doing a lot of features as well. I mean, obviously you did the one with with K-Coke and
yeah, that's what. All right, then that's when I kind of came out after like 2000 and I don't know 13, 12 or something. After what? I have to big up Wiley still. Wiley come to Brum after One Day Movie, and he'll be in the studio every day, phoning me like 8 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Just to talk music. And
did you ever collab on anything with him? Did you ever do anything?
We've done a couple of things, but nothing really come out. You know what I'm saying? There's even a few freestyles and all that I've got with me and people like Riggs and like with Wiley in this urban studio in Jawar's shop and things like that. Yeah, with Bugsy Malone and all of us, loads of us there.
Yeah.
So but he did come down and Wiley brings the energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I saw him not long ago in Lapa a couple of months ago. But he brings the energy, and he was just like, and this time I wasn't really on the music, and then he was on it every day. Him and Marks come down a couple of times.
Yeah, because as I said, you did a tune with K-Coke and Marks.
Yeah,
I was there at the
and that's how that tune.
Yeah,
that's how that tune come about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So after, I'll have to give Wiley a bit of a shout for that in a way of
rejuvenating, making your
not even musically. It wasn't even a music rejuvenation. It was just that he just come with that energy and just wanted to be in the studio all the time. This and that, and he just came with that Kanye West type and manic energy, and it kind of it put me back into music. So after a while, all my features
started coming out, and
and I got hungry. The 30 rounds, big up to J Bobs, with Gigs and G Fresh and SAS. You know what I'm saying?
So you do. I mean, what we do now, like I said, I'm gonna play one of your videos right now. The Blue Ground video.
Blues Ground,
Blues Ground, because you know what I mean, that was I was rating that, and obviously the visually you knew what you were doing in that sense. So we're gonna play that. We're gonna come on the other back on the other side, but yeah.
I'm street robbery to street poetry. I'm street robbery to street poetry. You wanna see? I'm street robbery to street poetry. I'm street robbery to street poetry. You wanna see it all? Let's roll a story untold, a place that gets more gory as we unfold. Please listen me, the unsolved mysteries. We lost Carnival and now the rest is all history. Black lovely children surrounded by ugly buildings that grew up to find money, music and drugs appealing. 12 years mainly war, dark colors, and that's true. Your town only switched after channel U. This ain't no party record, home of party records. Dance done 10 minutes after we pop the exit. We party out of town, here we've had enough of clubs. After a couple of murders, we call them dumpy clubs. Blaming rap for the blood up on the dance floor, but when the killing started, we were more into dancehall. Yeah, it's dirty here. Rum must have its own time zone. The way judges be handing out 30 years. I'll be that terrorist that martyr for this new sound. Then by the terraces bury me at the Blues Ground. I'm street robbery to street poetry. I'm street robbery to street poetry. You wanna see? I'll be that terrorist that martyr for this new sound. Then by the terraces bury me at the Blues Ground. I'm street robbery to street poetry. I'm street robbery to street poetry. You wanna see it? You've been shipped out, give me that jail applause. Go crazy on your dorm, yeah, bang your doors. They say we needed an anthem, I'ma do you that. Musical hooliganism, yeah, this is Zulu rap. Never come to my city with your silly talk. Yes, it gets really dark from Baggage to Villa Park. Can't find the sun that ends, and we're not around, no place out of bounds, so we're heading out.
Right, so that was the Blues Grounds. I mean, even that, like I said, visually mad thing. You know what I mean? And it really kind of
beer man was in that still.
Yeah, it's a man. Like, you know, like I said, it just shows Birmingham.
Yeah.
This is us, and this is what we, you know, this is what we're on. If you don't know,
because of the gang problem in Birmingham, there's some of our videos have been kind of controversial because there's different man in there.
Yeah,
certain man is not here.
I was gonna touch on that, the Slash and the yeah.
But like sometimes you can get a little sticky.
I was gonna say because
I'm glad we done all of that because history wise, I can watch the Silent Screams video and be like, yo, this is Birmingham history. of certain people that's in there, certain people who's not here anymore.
Shit fascinates me.
Yeah.
Like you gotta sell crack to babies and get rich and then catch them. Anyway. Like I said, but
who was rapping like that at that time?
Nope. Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, obviously, I mean, there's certain people I know in the same vein, but
and here's the thing, what I noticed is when we were going London earlier, because we was like, yeah, London, but they're both just on the flashy thing. Yeah. So when we started to go to the hood, and there's enough man that never made it to the MTV base to channel. There's enough London man that we linked up in the hood. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I remember a man like Kiko. Yeah. Rest in peace. Certain man, you know what I'm saying, coming in hard, but they never
got that thing. And it's mad because when you think about it, if you were to have them there and fast forward them at that time to what's going on now, it would have been a different argument still. I think it would have been a bit of a bigger explosion. And also I think, because obviously the youth, them, and they're doing their thing and I respect their thing and I just rate what they do. Obviously it's a different language where they understand, but I think that bridge of, you know what I mean, bars, like putting more thought into your craft as well. I think that would have probably elevated it as well. Yeah. And one, as I said, with it, you've already demonstrated that you man went to America and you came down to our studio back then as well. So it just showed that you just was on this thing, like just going, sitting still is not a good thing. Let's go and let's advertise our thing. But and
we done enough performances like that at that time. Enough we'll be all over the country. It was in London mostly.
You bloody was, man. I tell you. Yeah. Bloody was.
But one song that people do forget about, there's a song on the Hip Hop Connection. There was a CD on the Hip Hop Connection in 2001. Yeah, a CD called it was the Hip Hop Connection CD and it had loads of UK artists on there. Our song, and that's when downloads first started.
I remember. I actually remember the tune still.
I say something about bringing arms outside your mum's house. Yeah, way before, pal. You know what I'm saying? So certain things I touched on that sometimes got forgotten about, but I don't look at it like, you know what I'm saying?
It's just, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, what it is, certain time, you know what I mean? You've come up with something and that vibration you said it might hit somebody and they just, I thought of it, but yeah, that's a nuts thing still. And in relation even down to your DJs though, because obviously, you know, there's a roundabouts, you know, those times there. I mean, you had the Westwards, the 279s, the Chubby Kids, the Max and Dave, on these kind of people. Was there any of them, you know, Ras Kwame's, was there any of them who kind of, you know,
I'd say Ras Kwame probably the most, and I can't even say the most. Ras Kwame and 279. Yeah, I would say. I remember doing 279 show many times with Maurice Delta, doing shows where he was a DJ and performing with him. And even when my solo career being on DJ 279
doing your
so I have to respect him. Ras Kwame again. And Westwood, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the old Westwood.
You know the ones there. You can't Westwood, the cancellation fee. You know, was it
the old Westwood?
Yeah, the cancellation fees are meant. But and then obviously the scene as well, because as I said, more and more people started coming out of Birmingham, out of the Midlands. You know what I mean? You know, as I said, COV, the Lady Leashes, and so on. Yeah. Like, what was that like to see when you were seeing more and more of that? And then was there anybody who, like, you know what I mean, you kind of helped, or was anybody, you know what I mean, that you had an affinity with?
Tell the truth, now how many features I've done just in for Birmingham. So a lot of the grime artists, the younger grime artists, so there's a like Triller, the 0121 remix, I'm on there. I'm the only rapper on there. I'm the only rapper on there, but I'm still doing
your thing. But that's out of the love for knowing what you brought to it. You know what I mean?
No, but what I don't know, what most of the rap people didn't do is, cause I'm still around the studios and this and that. Yeah, we in Birmingham it's small, so we use the same studios. Regardless what music you're doing, we're using the same studios. We use some of the same producers most of the time, and we go to the same spots. If there's especially with like R.I.P. Bomber B, yeah. Last night was like his little memorial thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like he's a grime artist, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I'm connected to it. So when Sucks came out, when Saf One came out, I'm looking at Saf One. That's so-and-so's younger brother. Okay.
Yeah.
When this man comes out, there's a connection.
There's a connection, and because I was gonna say this as well. I mean, obviously, and I don't really touch on it too much, but with the gang thing, yeah, especially obviously when you know what I mean, Johnny's and Burgers and so forth. But because of you lot's presence as well and what you did and what you stood for, did that affect? You know what I mean? Like one side didn't like you because they thought you were this, or was it just was it a line of symmetry for yourself?
No. To tell the truth, there's certain older man in their cliques that fucked with man. So you know what I'm saying. From certain people fuck with you, of course you're gonna have certain man in the crew that.
Like, why are you fucking with them, man? You know what I'm
saying? You know what I'm saying? It's gotta. You know what I'm saying? You can't help that. Whoever you are, whatever I was doing, whoever I was, whether I had a business selling grapes, it'll be the same thing. There'll be, I'll be like, "Well, go on, G," and then the next man will just like looking at me like, yeah. But that's just life.
Yeah. But I'm saying, you don't say it though.
But man, just carried ourselves with certain integrity and we wasn't about the bullshit, and you know what I'm saying. And it's who you're making money with as well. So if I'm making money with certain people, that's taken more seriously.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that.
Which if I'm bringing food from the next area to this, you know what I'm saying? All that changes things. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, like I said, if you even have, because Baby J, like a bad man producer. I mean, what's your relationship with Baby J, and what's Baby J doing now at the moment? Is he still producing? What's going on with that?
Baby J is still producing. There was a group that he produced for called the Airlights from back in the day. Walk with a butt. Yeah. They had tunes out back in the day. Actually before he hooked up with Moistar, because he learned production from like
way back.
He used to go to New York from mid-90s or whatever. And then there was a couple of groups that he was working with Dead Prez from early. I remember.
I would have loved to. Wait, did you do anything with them? Because if you hadn't, why was that not done?
This was earlier.
I know,
but their mans were in Virginia at the time, and I think they came to the East Coast, so we never linked them. Physically. I remember they had a tune called Police State out first. One of their first singles, and basically, there was an EP. Baby J done for the Airlights, Nez and Karam, and Nez, he's got his own clothing label now, and he's still doing music. Produced by Baby J. He's got a project.
But because like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. I swear, did Baby J do a project with Kalashnikov? Was he working with him or something?
No, Skinny Man. He produced a lot of the Council.
Big up Skinny Man as well.
Yeah, of course. All day.
The other day.
Council of State of Mind.
It's actually the 20th anniversary of that. That's
so
crazy.
Baby J produced a lot of the bangers on that. You know what I'm saying?
Doing his thing there, and so and even down to like I mean some of the newer ones, like because like I said, even with the Midlands, it's always been a thing where the bars, you have to have a certain level of barring. I'm coming from that kind of school there. So,
but here's the thing.
Yeah,
you can be mediocre London man because my brother's so and so, my cousin so and so went to so and so. And I live up the road from the radio station. And I got a brother that was kind of gang that people are scared of. They're gonna just help me out a little. You ain't got that. You ain't afforded that in Brum. So anybody who makes it out of Brum, has to have certain things.
Go through that whole thing.
You know what I mean? You don't have you can't be a mediocre Brum guy and be a part of the whole scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can be, you know what I'm saying? Do you know how many artists I've seen from London come up and they're the biggest thing? And then a few years later, they go from up here and then they can't even get a show or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
It's true still.
So, you know what I mean? Wherever the scene is, it's like that. If you go to LA, at one time you could be from Compton. You just had to get your hair jerry curled and just rap on a beat, and you probably get a deal. Same with the East Coast, man. You could just be from Brooklyn. From you knew a producer. If Marley Marl was your cousin and you got two beats,
you're gonna get through. You're right.
Even if you only got through for those 2 songs and you had a little moment, you know what I'm saying? So it's where the industry is, and because we haven't got an industry with infrastructure here.
No, but I feel like you lot were the part of building that whole thing. Because as I said, you can't say Birmingham without MD7. And when I hear when people do say Birmingham without MD7, I feel disrespected, bro. I'm telling you, like I think I would probably take it more personally than you. Like, what the fuck are you? What? At the same time, do you know how many times I've had to draw for one of your freestyles or one of your things to show, like, you know who this brother is? So that's one thing that I think. And like I said, even with even Leisha, like obviously she does her thing. I mean, what was your? Did you work with her at all?
Yeah.
And was she on any of the Black Summer writings as well?
No. This was she would have been probably too young, and she came up on the like MC Vader, and then but Vader is like the time when MD7 was doing shows. Vader was doing stuff. So there's actually an interlude on the first album. There's an interlude where we actually use there's a man who does the radio voices for the advertisement. Maria's wig. This is PCR. Like he does all that.
I actually met that brother.
Yeah,
I met him. When I was, you look at someone, you heard their voice so much, like you don't look how I thought you would. You know what I mean? But anyway, good.
So he's doing an he's doing a dance on our album. There's a skit where the radio's on. Yeah, and there's a skit where the radio's on, and it says, "Yeah, we've got talking about a dance with MD7 dance," and then we mentioned Vader, we mentioned Doctor, we mentioned Big John, like all the dance or garage and hip hop artists on this bill. So it's like somebody reading out the flyer for a dance. But I'm glad we done that, because that's set in time what actually was going on in the city. You know what I'm saying? That's actually set in stone of
what's going on.
It's a audio flyer basically. So and you can hear who was when we go out, or who was in the city pushing the scenes in different
aspects and that.
And we all see it as one. All right, then for instance, see that block, the block tower block I ran out of in not Silent Screams, Art of Survival. That's Hudson Tower. Urban Monk lived on the bottom.
I was gonna bring up Urban.
Big Mikey, who's the main grime garage to grime DJ in Birmingham. Like throughout the years, to the point where Wiley and Dizzy would come straight there to his yard. Or anybody who's coming down Dirty Dogs. We're good at now, but they'll be coming there.
Okay.
And I never actually met them at the time when they used to be coming there, but I knew that they used to be checking Big Mikey, because Big Mikey was the main guy for all the
big artists and that.
But that's all in the same block. You know what I'm saying? And I done a couple of dubs for Big Mikey. So it was a thing where even when we got the dub plates cut, because we didn't do DAT tapes. We didn't before CD. We get the dub plates cut so you can
do that.
Play them and rap over the instrumentals on dub plate. That dub plate place is where Urban Studio was not long ago, and the dub plate man was a man named Hooligan. Old sound man. There was a little kid in that all the time when we get our dubs cut. That's Swift the Beats. You know what I'm saying? So everything is linked.
Interconnected. Yeah, that's true. Because Urban Monk, I got to rate him. He's a bad man producer as well. Rating still. You know what I mean? Like I said, the next time I come, I was supposed to do it on this time.
He produced Blues Ground. He produced something real. A lot of my tunes he produced.
He produced that as well. Right, I'll tell you what. We've come to the point of the show here where I'm going to kind of play an artist, and like I said, not to be really too cliche, but I'm going to play this artist because he's a Brom man still. Funny enough, he's a Brom man. He's living in London at the moment. But I'm going to play it to you. I think you might know him still, which is a bit of a counteraction to what I normally do. I normally play an artist that I don't think you're going to know, but I'm going to play him anyway because I rate him. And I'm going to come on the other side of that. I'm just going to get your reaction for that still.
Yeah, I'm glorifying this money under my mattress, but what am I to do when it makes society cashless? I got a friend who grows lemon haze and gelato, but can you do it with tomatoes? Cause it's peak if you can't purchase nothing. Cause these days are really looking like the end times. You better stay prayed up and keep a Bible by your bedside, or Quran, whatever you need to get to the next life. I wonder if all this time was worth me living my best life, or engaging in sex before I think about engagements. Beefing with her son, she's making funeral arrangements, sending white till the sky turns black, hugging the pavement, bank scamming teenagers cause they're still naive and brainless. If the money comes too easy, consequences might be hard to deal with. So be careful of the hard you deal with. Can you do a 10-year stretch? Like a stretch before cardio. Some man can get it done, no sweat. Some wake up in cold sweats, mentally perplexed. Some get put on the rope, so they put a rope round necks. Please don't be next and try and avoid the prison complex. No, it's easier said than done, it's all about the context. Some are born repping their ends from the onset, and no slicing up's throat, they put that on the set. But if you love your end so much you poke a black boy in the face, would you love your end so much you help a black boy with his grades? The homeless man on the block, would you help him with some change? The local girl got attacked and raped, would you back her case? Cause police ain't doing shit unless a drug deal's taking place, but fuck 'em, we can take their place. Community means unity, but we always seem to break, because you only love your ends when it's a beef thing, and I deeped it. I think it's self-hate. Lack of love in the mirror is exactly what you portray. Lack of love to an infant, their adult years are full of rage.
It's Conrad King, you know what I mean? Hate him up, you know what I mean? You don't know, but yeah.
That's bars, introspective bars, grown man bars, whatever you want to call them. It's something that's very needed in the UK. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of gas. Even one thing that in my career, what I didn't like after a while, and this is the truth, especially after like when I came back with after working with coke gigs and certain people like that, I noticed for rappers when I had two mental states. I had different mental states of rapping. So it's me rapping as a man, a black man of, you know what I'm saying, I was probably early 30s at the time. And then I could rap as a late teenager, early 20s. But I noticed me rapping as a youth with a youth mentality. They love it. UK really
love, yeah, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it did. I always kind of put me.
That's in the two realms right there.
Yeah. It's always kind of always put me in a thing where I know that this one's gonna get more views, this one's gonna get more sales, but this one's gonna probably even last longer and resonate. And I was doing shows in States a lot, and my UK stuff couldn't travel as much as my big man bars. You know what I'm saying? So I was in a conflict because I was here as well. And I wanted to do more of this than this. So we got Conrad King because,
and as I said, whilst that was on, Malik was sitting there like a proud dad. You see this guy's face. He was probably like, you know what I mean? Like I said, because he, like, Conrad's a man.
No, but every single bar. Every single bar.
Every single bar. Like I said, he's a Birmingham representative right there. You know what I mean? We need, like I said, we was kind of talking about, anyway, we was talking about putting down the mic, but yo, with me, yo, you can't put down the mic. That's the same way as this one here. Try to talk about put down mic.
Yeah, but I make beats now, man.
I was coming on to that. I'm coming on to that. But I've got to say, yeah, leave in the comments as well. This brother, like I said, for me personally, you know what I mean? And I'm like I said, I've said it many times in the show. I'm one of these people there that you gotta be on a certain level for me to even like sit up. And this brother here, ratings on this thing, and I don't respect how it looks like, oh yeah, Major's going, I don't care. Ratings to this brother here. Now we're gonna come on to the producing thing, because like I said, like I've been seeing your beats as well, and the thing is, it's not a thing where you sound like you've just begun. You sound like a seasoned person in it, yeah? So how did the transition, when you said, right, yeah, you know what, let me start this producing thing, I can do this as well. and sounding so accomplished in doing it?
Well, I've kind of been producing I wouldn't say I'm beat making, but I was producing, because when it comes to arrangement, even use a different snare, bringing people the samples, things like that. I was always doing that.
Yeah,
I was always doing that, and like I'm there on the computer. I ain't just laying down the bars. I'm there seeing what goes where, and like, nah, put that there. Made this fade out like this. I knew what I wanted to hear. Especially with working with Urban, we worked very closely. So when it comes to because when I'm working, I basically do a similar thing to when I was rapping as my job. But all I do now, I'll stand in front of a room. Instead of being on stage in the evening, I'll be in a hall full of people in the daytime. And I'll be speaking about how the internet algorithms and how fake news can play you out of position, can fuck with your mental health. How people I'm talking to young people as well. So I'm like, how you can get groomed into certain shit, not even just street shit, but other type of shit. So, but I pull it all in my way, the same way if I had to write a verse about it. It has to have punchlines, it has to have emotion, it has to have something where you like, oh, that's kind of on the edge.
Yeah.
So I still, what I did in hip hop, I still do it in my job, but I'm just performing in the daytime.
Yes.
Not.
And like I said, I've seen it because obviously, I watch a lot of the stuff you do, and it's like I could see how you kind of let the room feel what you're saying. I see how they buy into you, and you're very well. The way that you put it together, the way that you say what you say, and the way how you carry yourself, it gives that. You know what I mean? It gives the thing that's what you're trying to do there.
So it's the same with the rap. I'll go into primary school. When I go into primary school, my first 3 questions are, all right then, put your hand up if you think everything on the news is true. Put your hand up if you think everything in the newspapers is true. Yeah. Put your hand up if you think everything on the internet is true. That's how I start my session. So you already know and that's with kids from 10 years old.
And that's a good place to come, because at the end of the day, there's the influential element for them to see and soak in what's on YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm dressed up like this, and I'm telling them Wagwan in their own language.
Yeah.
So because I do that and I travel around, I'm even in Wales doing that, Manchester. Yeah. Tomorrow Tuesday, I'm in 3 schools on the Thames, City of London, School for Boys, and City of London School for Girls. Yeah, and the next one, and like prestigious schools doing these type of things.
Yeah.
But because I'm traveling a lot, I was like, I collect samples already.
Yeah.
So if on my like Instagram stories, I'll just put a sample in there all the time. And to the point where I was like, you know something, I've worked out how I've reverse engineered how people made all these songs.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me try to do it myself.
No, but you're like I said, and I don't even like to say like that, but you're actually good. Like you're actually like to the point where, as I said, enough time you see me put up anytime you put up his beats, I fling that up as well. Because I'm like, yo, because what you do, obviously, you make the beat and then you'll put it of a tune out already, and you'll use a video for that tune, but it's your beat. But when you're watching it, it's like the original, not the original beat, but it seems like there was no other beat for it.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? And what you're using at the moment, Logic?
At first, I started off with IMPC on the iPad. I had like an iPad Mini 4. So I was like, I'm just using it to watch content, but I was like, oh, from I knew I had 16 pads, and I could put samples in there, and I could put drum sounds in there. So I wanted to learn it the original way. So I wasn't dragging, I was doing it like the old MPC from 20 years ago. I'm basically using that technology
to make, but bro, like I said, the sound and banging as well. And there's a thing where your beats don't sound dated, like it sounds. Initially, like I said, when I started hearing it, and obviously the more and more I heard, I can hear the style in it. That you got, your style in it. So with regards to your beat making thing, what's the plan? Are you, looking to
Well, there's a few artists I'm producing for at the moment. I'm doing a lot with Kingship Studio, like People's Army.
Yep.
So I mean, Logic is
big up Logic.
Yeah.
Big up Peaches.
Yeah. Big up Peaches. Big up man like Steady.
Yeah. Big up Prof. Big up Prof as well. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. So I know Logic, Opium, a few different artists have been on my beats. Big up Big Spartan, a few more artists. And in Birmingham, Article. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know who Article is, yeah, RTKAL. Yeah, on Instagram and that.
Follow that. Follow him.
Yeah,
still.
he does more. He sick rapper, sick dancer, grime, whatever he wants to touch.
He just does it and accomplishly. But as I said, so with that, you're having because obviously the power that you have is, all right, these are your beats. You can, like I said, curate, all right, you know what? I want to reach out to you. I want you on that. I want you on that. Let me make it. So are you got plans of making a production album?
Yes, yeah,
and
definitely.
Also with that, are you going to jump on in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to.
Yeah,
but I'm like, my comeback verse has to probably be on my own beat to bring me in.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely going to produce an album. But so far I got like 4 tunes on the Article project. I got different tunes out here and there with different artists. People started buying beats after a few months before I even knew how to to export stems. People was trying to buy beats of me before, you know what I'm saying?
And obviously, because you know me, like me being a MC.
But 1 second, big up all the iPad producers. I'm using Logic Pro for iPad. Yeah,
don't know.
Man's just looking at me dodgy at first, like, yeah, and then I'll play the beat and they'll be like, and then Logic for iPad come out, and then certain people, them same people have got it. But yeah,
but it's crazy that you say that, because obviously when we had that conversation, and I'm like, "What are you producing?" You said like iPad. I wasn't saying,
But yeah, there was a stigma. There's a slight stigma to
probably half of that.
Yeah.
But as I said, the proof is in the pudding as well. And as I said, even when you make the rhythms now and you've got someone rapping on it, how's that feeling for you now? Does that feel different?
Yeah, it does kind of feel different. And but I kind of make, for some reason, I make beats that make people want to rap. You know what I'm saying?
It's not for some reason. It's because you're a rapper. You get me? So you want it to, because as I've said, I mean, there's been times where I've made beats with people, they've taken them away, and they've just not done what, you know what I mean? And I'm like, so once that's done, but then I kind of like, now that beat's mobbed in it, so I'll throw it over there. You get me? Cause I like do what you're doing with it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, this is a piece of you, innit? Like, and you want it to be represented.
Yeah, fully
in a proper way, man.
Yeah, sometimes I'm a bit like that with my beats. Sometimes, yeah, I don't want to give them to everybody.
It's like somebody buying a Lamborghini and driving at 20 miles an hour everywhere.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense, innit? That's that. You know what's under that engine. You know what I mean? So
but especially if you make custom Lamborghinis. Everything's it ain't just a production line. It's like everything's kind of your baby to a certain
Trust
degree.
me, like even there's somebody getting custom made trainers. You made it customly, and then they're just running in the mud. Like, what's that? You know? Do you know what I mean, blood?
No, fully.
You know what I'm saying? So,
well, yeah. If you want to hear my beats, go to Malik More Beats.
We're gonna put that. Show them where it's gonna be, man. Show them.
That's Malik.
Point it on the screen where it's gonna be.
Right there. Yeah. Boom. Right there.
Yeah. Right there.
You know what
I mean? Because
Malik More Beats. But I've only been producing for not even like a year and a half now.
Now you're coming, bro. I'm telling you.
There's a lot of transferable skills. That's one thing I want to say to everybody listening, regardless of your age. From rap, I'm a public speaker now. But all them things I do in writing a verse, I do on stage, talking to people, whether I'm talking to professionals, whether I'm talking to people in college, whether they're primary school or senior school. I'll have like 150 people in a room, sometimes 300 people in a room. And the same principles apply. The same way I want everybody to, if you know my lyrics, I'll have certain punchlines in there. I'll always have a funny punchline in a tune, even if the tune's serious.
What's that boy? He said, one time when you come to the studio, he said, I don't talk about big money because I have none. You want me to talk about big money? Go buy my album. You probably don't even remember that verse, but that's what you said.
Yeah.
And that's when you came to our studio. I was like, fuck it, now I'm gonna buy his album. But yeah. So even like I said, moving forward. So what's any forward plans? Like I said, like obviously I'm trying to make you dislodge the mic you hung up. You get me?
Well, so, definitely production.
Yeah.
I'm soon going to be starting my own company for some of the work I do.
Mm-hmm.
And using people, I'll use a lot of people from who done music already, because we've got a way of relating to people. We've got a way of putting our words together that can be transferred to other things. My music knowledge is transferred to making beats. Only because of COVID, I'm not at the festival. I'll usually be at the festivals. At first I was performing, and then I'm on the panel talking about UK history and putting it into context for people.
Is there a documentary going to come out for that though? As throwing out the idea, because as I said,
you're
looking to do that.
Well, and I'm executive producer on a documentary called Legacy. And that's showcasing Birmingham history. But there's other documentaries that I've liaison for, where they've just brought me in and they want to pick my brain. They want to get ideas from me, and basically my knowledge of all those years in music, even from growing up in in my grandma's house and the things I was exposed to. It's all full circle and it's all transferable in different things I do. So even when I'm an old man, I can still make beats. I can still, if I can walk and I ain't see now, I can do something that started with music, started with barring, even if it's not necessarily barring.
No, it's barring, bro. Just fuck that shit. It's barring.
We don't do old rap in the UK, man. That's when you like, I just say,
bro.
In the UK, dead when you're 30.
Yeah, true, but I don't care, blood. As I said, at the end of the day, it's a stigma of, because it even hit me in the sense that I was like, right, I'm at a certain age now, I can't be. But you know, it's something that's in you, like because even up to now, you can't tell me you don't. A bar won't fall through your head into yourself, like, right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, the longer you don't do it, you start questioning yourself. Do I still have it? Or what can I do? What can I talk about? Whatever. But. And you know what? There's one thing I nearly forgot. If I'd left this interview without flipping saying it, I would have been pissed, man. Because I'm going back down to London, and I would have been on the motor. Right, what the fuck have I asked that? The one day thing, El Presidente.
Yo, I got one of El Presid's tunes on my phone, you know that.
Yeah, play it.
Rod that, please.
This is the life that I've chosen. This thug life has left my mother's heart broken. I've done everything imaginable. I influenced the ends and made it fashion.
Yeah, which is a crazy thing. It's a film that you was in, but you wasn't in. Like your
I was on tour at the time.
Oh, so you were supposed to be in it?
Yeah, I was on tour doing the schedules clashing. Remember, I done a verse on the Amy Winehouse remix.
See it there.
So we was touring with.
Did you do it? What? Did you meet her?
I met her once, but she wasn't doing the touring with us. But it was mostly with Mark Ronson. So we'll be doing his tour, and Wale was on the tour.
We can't skip over that
quickly. There was a song by Mark Ronson and Amy Winehouse called Valerie, and it's a cover version. They brought it out. Baby J done a remix to it. Mark Ronson liked it so much that he put it on the single. So it was on the B side, like in HMV, when you buy Amy Winehouse Valerie, say my name's on the back. There was me, Preacher from CLV, there was a guy named Alex Blood from Derby, and there was Ruckus, who's from Derby, originally from Birmingham. There was 4 of us on the track, produced by Baby J.
Yeah.
And we done big arena tours with Mark Ronson.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Jay-Z came to do, when he done Wireless in Glastonbury and that.
Mm-hmm. 2 days.
Yeah. We were there for all the shows. So Wale was another artist with, so it was us coming out for the tune, and Wale was Mark Ronson's like rapper.
Over that, blood.
So he'll be on tour with us. And Wiley had Rolex out. So Wiley on the second, Wiley will come out and do Rolex. So you know what I'm saying? That's when I first hooked up with Wiley properly, but I met him before. But that's when we hooked up then. So
I mean, as I said, cause, you know, the Mark Ronson, the Amy Winehouse, like so did you actually speak with Mark and them kind of things?
No, we was on tour. Yeah, we was on tour.
It was one of those ones.
We done tour for beer dates, and then when the Jay-Z tour come, because he was supporting Jay-Z for Jay-Z's tour. Like we done everywhere, Scotland, like Edinburgh, with 2 places in Scotland. There's Edinburgh, and what's the other place? Glasgow, yeah, Edinburgh was it ended off in Glastonbury. But we done a lot of that. We done all of those big stadiums, man.
So and as I said, the El Presidente. All right, if you were supposed to be in it, was there a character that you were supposed to be but couldn't be?
No, I was still going to be El Presidente, but what it was there was supposed to be a scene that I was supposed to be in that
shows what happened.
Yeah, it shows how I passed away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Because as I said, they're playing your tune.
Yeah, they played my tune on the graveside. Yeah.
Did you record that for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, it would have made sense because of what you're saying. But now that film was a good film still. Like I said, it was a very good film.
It was a good look for Birmingham.
It was a very good look for, you know, Birmingham and that. What a Ross. Who was that girl? She was Aggie, blood. Like,
big up Fiasco.
Yo,
yeah.
She
big
was
Fiasco.
What a Ross. Like, she proper. What a Ross.
Oh yeah, she's sticking out the whip in it with the all in one.
Wait, am my grandson that? What you do? You gonna come to church? No, them thing I was at many times still. I'd like to see more films like that. You know what I mean? Like, is that an angle what you'd get involved in? Like, because who was the? And once again, I'm doing the thing where I'm asking multiple questions, so remember the questions. But who was the director of that?
It was a woman named Penny Wilcock. She's still doing Trapping. No, the film that just come out, Trapping. Yeah. She's done that.
Would that be somebody that, you know what I mean, you'd want to collab with to do something? Because obviously with what you do, the vision you put out there. I mean, like I said, and it's something that's
there's that is definitely a possibility. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, does anybody?
But but for me, in front of, not so much in front of the camera where I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be, you know what I mean, finding young people with the talent, bringing them through, and like over here, young people just need that guidance and support. So every time I'm in States and I see the young artists, they've got mans in their 30s and 40s there, who know certain samples, who know certain stuff they've lived through. They've watched the whole 90s, so they'll be like, oh, this might be a good idea to do. Like DMX done it once on this tune, or this was done on one video by Snoop on his first album. But for instance, there's certain artists you've seen wake up in the morning in their video, brush their teeth and come out their yard. Just seeing that makes you relate to the person much more. So sometimes a young person who ain't seen that happen so many times probably won't think of that, where an older person can be like, yo, do this on your video. He just had to start, wake up. You know what I mean? Snoop done it in Black and Yellow. Wiz done it in Black and Yellow. What's the name done it in What's My Name? Usher done it in one of his tunes, that tune with P. Diddy when he wakes up and he dances. Like, but see that only a person who's lived a certain length of time would know that
and signify
that works every time. Especially when you're in a new country where other people ain't done that before.
It definitely, like I said, it's a symbolic thing because that's the start of the day and them kind of things. And what you're saying is prevalent because there's a lot of tunes that are getting redone. I find it funny though, because the tunes that are getting kind of redone and remade, before it's like there was a more longer grace period.
Yeah.
Now it seems like
but people are picking your biggest single to redo.
Yeah.
Where it's the album track.
Yeah.
That you need. It's like, I know, going through KRS One album.
Yeah.
And going, oh shit, I'm gonna do that concept for over here.
Yeah.
Because that song come out like 30 years ago in America. So I'm a British artist and I'm doing drill.
Yeah.
So me doing that concept, nobody would know.
Yeah,
I've took the concept from KRS One from a 1992
and then what
album.
happens is the new audience don't even know about the previous thing, and they think that's you. So when they hear the original, they're like, hold on, this is the original. I've seen that happen so many times.
But even if you don't take but just taking that same concept.
Yeah. And then doing it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Lots of things are up for grabs, not just samples, not just other people's
taking
bars,
the whole blood clots,
but taking concepts that have already came, that have worked in different like in different countries at different time periods. You can get all that information and say, I'm going to do a new version of that. Nobody would know. You're still paying homage, but you know what I'm saying? You're not actually paying anybody for nothing.
Yeah, no, this is.
You know what I'm saying?
Then in saying that, because obviously when Burna Boy took the Tony Braxton thing, I swear it was something like 70 or 80%, something like that. You have to give up, but it helped him. You know what I mean? Go and do the next thing.
Well, it's not just samples; it's the
whole concept.
It's the concept, or if you're a singer and you're listening to, I don't know, some 90s shit or whatever, or 80s, and you're like, oh, let me sing. It's singing that style a bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You'll be creating something new now because you're not going to sound like the 80s guy.
Yeah.
You'll be creating something totally new. So, like, looking at the past and grabbing from the past and not the obvious ways. That's how we keep our culture going.
Keep it going.
See that sampling, we dance where certain of the reggae rhythms constantly come back.
Mm-hmm. It does. And once it comes back again, it's kind of got a new wave of it, and it keeps on growing. It's true.
And that's how we keep our culture repeating, and not too much. Not just like I'm doing cover versions or I'm just sampling the big song from the other day. Talking, going into listening to older stuff, and then really getting the inspiration. Like listen to a whole album of somebody from back in the day.
No, true. Now I'm gonna play one more of your videos because obviously I feel I should have played this one first. The Silent Scream. Gotta play this one, man. Oh, you know it's
this was recorded wrote in like 1998 or something. So 1999 and came out 2001.
Stuff still just, you know what I mean? So we're gonna play that and get back to you on the other side.
Yo, hold on. Listen, you know how to buy DJ Dynamo. Listen, I already told you about it.
Right, there's no election.
Listen, I gotta say it in a bit, yeah. When you look at that, everything will be alright, man.
And at the end of the day, you're playing your head, yeah. At the end of the day,
Please listen to my silent screams. It's the same old, still rapping, still hustling. I still playing though, but still the game's low. So I need to get it. I'm hungry on my electrics and emergency credit. Back a blade, you get it. To get paid's my fetish. Thinking about pulling a raise, I wouldn't regret it. I said it, I live this, it incites my poems. Digging through Bobby with that crisis loans. My pockets are broke, but I'm a ghetto survivor. Getting verbal abuse from my Nudina Gaza. Yo, listen to this, my empty fridge food missing this shit. Coca-Cola 99 pence, chicken and chips. Is my diet suffering silence while the quiet? Right now I'm game to start a riot. Robbing off lights and start violence. The way that I'm forced to live is enough to justify it. We rapping and cellophane, sell it to a fiend. Get the green, hear my silent scream. Surrounded by the violent things, hard to live life clean. Please listen to my silent scream. We rapping and cellophane, sell it to a fiend. Get the green, hear my silent scream. Surrounded by the violent things. Please listen to my silent screams. Fish fascinates me like you gotta sell crap to babies to get richer than cats to ladies. Caught up in a vicious cycle. Life is a bitch, she's spiteful. Wonder what that chick gonna do next. Oppression, keeping my crew vexed. Poverty inspires robberies and you next. Everybody fighting for crumbs. You my blood, then I'll fight for you, son. You a snake, then I'm
Silent Scream, one of my favorite Malik tunes, one of my favorite MD7 tunes, should I say. Shot beautifully, you know what I mean? And like I said, the concept in it was peak.
And at that time, at that time, you couldn't really get a song like that. At the time, people wasn't really speaking like that at the time. You got what I mean? There's probably rappers in certain hoods rapping like that, but
Bad Bunch, and like
there wasn't nobody was on the main front.
It kind of thing. Did you one question? Did you ever meet any of the Wu members?
Oh yeah.
So which particular one, like Ray? You met Ray on them kind of things there?
I met Ray Ghost. I went to my guy from Canada. Shout out to Born King. When he came over. He's like, he's mad close to the Wu. You know what I'm saying? Even like they wear his merchandise and all that.
So did they hear your music?
Actually, Cypher and Jawar, when they went States, they linked RZA, like linked him properly. Before I wasn't there at the time, no. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking hell, I wasn't out there kind of thing.
But to tell the truth, when it comes to that doesn't really bother me. Meeting people's producers though, that I was more kind of into that than the rapper, because I knew the producer hold more weight.
Of course, because he's the one here.
It's like meeting Rough Riders, like Jada Styles, love them, but you're having the link with Swiss Beats. That's taking you a lot further.
It's true. It's true. I mean, the craziest time, I'm gonna say one little thing. There was one time, this is like 2012, I think, and there was like the Cannabis Cup. One of my brethren, big up Mass Man. He's a proper Styles P fan, like he's proper, like, you know what I mean. And he said the weirdest thing, this was like 3 weeks before us going to Amsterdam. He said the weirdest thing. He said, yeah, I'm going to meet Styles P. I'm telling you, you know what I mean? There's nothing set up, or there's nothing where we're going to be, a place where there's none of that stuff. This was the craziest stuff. We've gone over Amsterdam for the Cannabis Cup. And we're walking down one road, now. A group of man them come walk past us. And my brethren saying, well, I swear that's Styles P. Now, in my head, you're thinking, well, like, if I said that to you, what are you going to be thinking of? Whatever, innit? So we've turned around and he said, yo, they turned around, it was fucking Styles P standing there. I'm saying, oh, no, that's crazy. You know what I mean? He's come up to them, he's already spoke to him, but it was just the maddest thing. He said this 3 weeks prior to that, not knowing that Styles P is going to be in Amsterdam, you know? And
Styles P's a good dude.
And he was chilled.
He was in Nottingham for a bit, like on the ends with man. He was down in Brom and like
it's man. You don't got similar energies as well.
Yeah,
man. Like
no, but he actually said though. He's got a tweet. Styles P's got a tweet. Goes, if I was from the UK, I don't think I'll be from London. I'll probably be from Manchester or Birmingham.
Nah, for real. I think that would have been a mad.
He spent time in I remember he was done a tune with like Slash Man them. You know what I'm saying? So and then they brought him to studio with them. So he's there with just like 30 man. You know what I'm saying? So I know he saw what was going on in
another kind of person like that was Jacka. I met Jacka, and I know he came up to Birmingham as well. Rest in peace, Jacka.
Rest in peace.
One of the coolest brothers. Like, it was crazy because I met, obviously they came down, a big up Eldon, he did a tune with Eldon and that. And it was Freeway and Jacka. And Freeway was more like moving like how you would, you know what I mean? Like, I'm too good to be right. But Jacka was like the one of the man them. I felt like he was one of the man.
But see them Oakland man them, like when you go around when you travel to different parts of America, you'll find out that different parts of America, man, are different. So as certain man, like especially Brum man, get on with Oakland man. You know what I'm saying? Big up Joe Blow. Big up A1.
Yep, he was down as well. Like flipping Eldon's got
big up PK.
Yep. You know what I mean? The man have come up. They come London quite a regular still.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They're just like man them when they come down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they really do. You know what
they bring some good bod with them. Boy.
Question, how did they get here? But you know what I mean? That's a bad thing. But anyway, like I said, we've come up to the end of the show. I want to say big up Bulletproof Dreams for sponsoring the show. You know what I mean? This, as I said, this is the end of season 2. So once again, Bulletproof Dreams, you know what I mean? Go follow Bulletproof Dreams. Go follow Malik here.
Yeah.
And for the beats team, we're going to put everything on the screen here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
follow Malik MD7. Yeah.
Big up
all
the Cypher, Jawad.
Cypher, Jules. Big up Jawad, that's Black Diamonds Inc. You'll see all the links. But yo, big up everybody who's worked with me or anything throughout my career from back in the day, from, I don't know, 2000 to up till now, all the grime artists, dancehall artists, all the studios we used. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a musical family and there's a musical legacy and lineage.
Yeah, there
you know what I'm saying? That we take pride in. You know what I'm saying? And different people come off the branches of different people. So let's just keep that lineage going. Let's keep the bars going. You know what I'm saying? Because UK at some point is gonna take over everything. Let's keep at some point. Well, yo, I don't want to be a rapper when the UK takes over. I want to be managing one of these little niggas.
No, obviously, that's cool. Like
yo, big up man like Millions, yeah?
Millions.
R.I.P. Bama B, yeah? That's how we're doing it.
Well, once again, like I said, end of season 15. It's been a blast for this season. Next season's going to be a crazy thing as well. Once again, as I said, go follow, like, share, you know what I mean? Do all that stuff, you know what I mean? Hit the notification bell. But once again, Malik, respect one time, my brother. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Respect for coming down.
There's some more work coming out. Anyway, once again, peace out.